Okay, I've got this magnificent opportunity to drive Greg Murphy's Castrol Commodore. In fact, I've never driven a Commodore. I haven't, in fact, driven a V8 Supercar, or in fact, any race car since I jumped out of the car at Bathurst in 2004. So this is a great privilege, and I'd like to share with you what it's like to drive one of these. In fact, all I've driven is my Nissan four-wheel drive ute. In fact, I went and got my old helmet out of storage. Stinks a little bit like Scapes' wallet, very mouldy. But I sit in this car, I haven't sat in one for a while. First thing you notice, I mean, this is not built for comfort. It's just, everything is functional. We've got our dashboard on here, which gives us so much information I'm not even going to start to tell you. We've got a plethora of buttons on the dashboard here. We've got ignition, starter, reserve, fuel pumps, wipers, tyres. This is for the lights on the screen. Screen demisters, rain lights, suit pump for the cooling suit. There's a whole lot of stuff. There's a really big job. So to the guys, look, hey, I'm just going to drive it and enjoy the experience. These are your anti-roll bars, and this is the sequential gearbox. Now, this is not like a normal H pattern. It sounds easy. You just plug it forward or reverse. I've never driven a sequential gearbox before, so anyway, let's give it a go and see how we go. All right, we'll start her up. Okay, we're right to go. Okay, didn't stall it, that's a good start. Whoa. Well, there's the first thing you notice after not driving one of these cars for a long time. The power that this thing has, 650 horsepower. Look at that, bump. Actually, that's pretty exhilarating. I could do with more of that. That is good stuff. The other thing I noticed straight away, apart from the cramped environment you're sitting here, I'm very inboard, very towards the centre of the car. So when I look out the front screen here, I've got this great big roll bar in front of me. So vision is in fact very poor. The other thing, this sequential gearbox I'm noticing already, very different to use, but you've got to be very positive with it. You can't mickey around with it. You've really got to whack it into gear. The other really noticeable thing is just how loud it is in here. A little bit like driving a train smash, if you would. I'm really overwhelmed by the amount of power this thing's got. Now the other thing I just want to show you before I start my lap proper is heel and toe. We talk a lot about heel and towing, and I just want to show you what you've got to do. You in fact don't use your heel. I'm not sure why they call it that anymore. But as you come up to a corner and brake, the intention is that as you're braking, I'll swivel my foot across like that. I'll show you down into this brake area here. I swivel my foot across and actually flip the throttle to match the gearbox revs and the engine revs, so it doesn't lock up the rear wheel. Okay, let's have a lap, see how we go. Second gear around here. You want to get nice and wide out here. I talked about this. Getting a nice straight apex. Late apex trying to get out of the corner. Second, third gear. Oh, that power. See ya. That power is something else. That is good. Now we come down into turn one. Very, very braky. Under bumps back to fourth gear. You want to try and carry mid-corner speed through this corner. It's an open corner, so you want to get a nice one up to here. Now this turn two, very odd one. You really need to try and balance the car here between understeer and oversteer, because if you get any sliding coming off here, that means you're not getting 100% traction coming down at the end of down the back straight, and you need every bit of traction. Okay, I'm going to pull it up here at about 200 metres, because I'm a wimp. Where you'd usually go there is about 150 metres. Okay, again, staying out wide, in for a nice late apex. I want to try and get to 100% throttle early. Early change up to third gear. Oh, that power, I tell you, that is good. I know she's a Commodore, but she's okay. Okay, down here, turn 5. This will be second gear. In fact, some guys will start using third gear over the weekend. It's more than 90 degrees this corner, so a lot of steering input. Third gear, this is an open type corner. Hard on the throttle out of here. Oh, gee, I love this. This is good. Not the lap, but driving the car. Back to second gear down here. Again, nice and late. Well, what an experience is this. I've got to start